Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 3. So excited you're back to join me. I hope you get something out of this one. So for this one, I kind of want to just jump right in and talk about gratitude and how to live in gratitude. And, I've had a few people reach out to me since my first video that I launched a few weeks back. I talked briefly about gratitude and doing a gratitude list and things of that nature. And so I kind of want to share a little bit about how I do it and maybe ways that you can actually apply it into your life. The most important thing that I needed to learn about living in gratitude is it literally takes practice. That's why they say practice gratitude, because you have to work at it. It's not something that just comes naturally. At least it didn't for me. I am in recovery, and so I have about 6.5 years. And in recovery, you hear a lot, especially with the anonymous program that I go to, you hear a lot about gratitude lists and being in gratitude. If you're upset or if you're feeling lost, do a gratitude list. And so that was one of the things that was taught to me and told I was suggested to do when I was struggling, and it never really worked for me. I would write down 5 or 10 things, and then I would just move on with my day, and I would still be either resentful or frustrated or lost or something, and it just didn't seem like it worked for me. So it was something I didn't continually apply to my life. And there's a few reasons why that didn't work that I'll get into later, but so I just kind of moved on from that and then just kind of lived my life and just thought a gratitude list wasn't for me, it was for other people. And so what changed for me is I recently was living a really kind of unfulfilled life. I felt very lost. My soul was kind of calling for me to do something else than what I was doing. And I was unhappy. And, on paper, everything in my life was legit, like beautiful family, I love my wife, I live in San Diego, I have a beautiful home, all of these things on paper just seemed great, but something inside of me was really missing. So I decided to make a change and start looking at ways to make myself happier. And when I started looking into ways to making myself happier and following people on Instagram, all of them were talking about gratitude lists. So it's popping up again. And at first I was just kind of like, I don't think this is going to work for me. So I don't really know what to do, but I decided this time to go all in on my happiness and try to be happy. So I started reading up on gratitude and how you do a gratitude list and what things can you do to actually live in gratitude. So I decided that I was going to start going for it and I was going to start doing a list. But I wasn't really sure how to make the list work. And I came across this amazing book. I've talked about it on my Instagram profile and I've shared, and he's my hero, one of my heroes. And his name is Vex King. And he wrote a book called Good Vibes, Good Life. And this is like my go-to book. I'm going to read this book probably hundreds of times in my life. I mean, it's just amazing. There's so much knowledge in here that you can apply to make yourself happier and live a more fulfilled life where you actually love yourself. And in it, he has a part that talks about gratitude and how do you get into gratitude? How do you feel gratitude? Because I could never feel it. And he gives a great story of a gentleman he was helping. So Vex is a mental coach, and he was talking to a guy who was really depressed or things weren't going well for him. So he was trying to tell him things, to come up with things that would make him feel grateful. And he couldn't really come up with anything. And so they kind of settled on one where he's like talking about his car. And the gentleman who he was coaching was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess I'm grateful for my car, but he didn't really feel it. And so what Vex did for him is he started having him go down the line of why his car would be, why he's thankful for his car. And he went down the line and started talking about, well, I can drive places, so that's great. And, I can pick up things. And one of the things he kept, okay, we'll keep going. And then so one of the other things he said was, well, I can pick up my kids from school and I can pick them up and drop them off. And so they start delving a little bit deeper. And what the gentleman realized was that he didn't have that benefit when he was a kid. He would have to take the bus in the morning. And so now he has this car, this vehicle that can allow him to pick up his kids to and from school without having to go on a bus and be bullied. And so this allowed the guy to get into gratitude and really understand why he's grateful for his car. And so that was a really big eye-opening moment for him. So the way that I saw that was like, okay, if I'm going to do a gratitude list, if I'm going to sit down every morning and I'm going to do 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for, I need to experience the emotions that are involved with that. So let me give you an example. So I go on a run every single morning. Well, not every morning, but 5 to 7 days a week. And I look forward to that run so much. Like it clears my mind. I go right before the sun's rising and it's just beautiful. And so I love doing it. And So what I started doing is in my gratitude list, I would start writing down like I love my run. Like it's just great. And then instead of just saying I love my run and then move on to the next one, I would start thinking about why I love it. I love it because the sun's rising, the sun hits me, I'm moving my body, it feels good, I'm getting a good sweat, so I know I'm doing something really healthy for myself. And I start getting in that moment when I'm writing it down so I actually feel the emotion as I'm writing it. And it can be things that are really simple too. Like the other day I wrote about being grateful for my pillow. And instead of, just writing down, oh, I like my pillow, it supports my head or whatever, I got really into it. I was like, oh, it's so cozy. I like the way I can maneuver it, and it keeps me warm and I look forward to it. And so as I'm writing the gratitude about my pillow, and how comfortable it makes me feel, I get back into that emotion. I feel it. Like I use my 5 senses to get inside of the gratitude. And it can be over the simplest things or it can be really large things. But what's been so rewarding for me as I've gone on and been doing this every day pretty consistently for, I think, over a couple months now, or I'm coming up on pretty close. It's just, you start getting grateful for so many other things. And so there's so many things you can write about every morning. Like you don't lack in gratitude. You have things you're grateful for. So you write about them and you allow yourself to get in that emotion and feel it. So sometimes that takes some steps, and sometimes you have to do it your own way, whatever works for you. But the thing that's so rad about it is not only does it get your day started off on a good foot because you're being thankful and practicing gratitude for what you have, but it starts going and affecting your whole life. It starts affecting your whole day. So like for me, I just now am in gratitude for a ton of things, like all the time. I used to, let's say if I got in my car and drive somewhere, I would just be the drive and then go. But now I'm like, oh, I love my car. I'm so grateful I get to drive my car to the grocery store or something like that. So it's really kind of just random things where it just permeates through my life, which is what's so rad about it. And once you start seeing life through the lens of gratitude, you start appreciating and you feel fulfilled instead of lacking and wanting from other areas. So what it's done is it's made me so happy, even more happy with the life that I live now, and so thankful for the things that I have. You can do common things where I love our house. I love the fact that it keeps me warm at night. I love the fact that I can raise my kids in this house. I can actually get inside of those emotions. And so another thing that's so beneficial, besides the fact that you just start thinking about gratitude throughout your life, is it really can be so impactful for anyone. So you can be going through some really, really traumatic times and some really difficult times. And if you allow yourself to continue or start doing a gratitude practice and start looking at the positives, even when there's so many negatives going on, you can really elevate your mindset through the struggles that you're going through. And then another thing that happens is, let's say you're living this great life, like you're pretty happy. I mean, you are happy, you wake up happy, you have great kids, great job, all of those type of things, but you don't do a gratitude list. Well, guess what? Like if you incorporate a gratitude list into that and start feeling it, you'll elevate your life even more. So that's the beauty of it. It's like whether you're struggling so hard or your life is great, you are elevating your life no matter what. So, and who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to step up their life a little bit more? Who, when they're looking inside and trying to extend and grow their happiness, this is such an important tool to do that. So what I do every morning is I go somewhere quiet. I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. I get in the emotions of those things. I don't let anything disturb me. I have 2 young boys and a baby now, so I try my best, but I try to get in the moment. I focus on what I'm grateful for, and I get in those emotions, and then I'm on with my day. My next step of my routine I go on to. And so the thing that's so great though is you don't need a lot of time to practice a gratitude list, and it doesn't have to be in the morning or something like that. You can, I maybe spend 5 tops 10 minutes every morning doing my gratitude list, but it makes me feel fulfilled. It extends throughout my whole life. So now I can't imagine my life without doing it, because it has changed and impacted me and allowed me to be so grateful for the things that I have around me. So I hope that this was something that was beneficial for you to hear. If anybody has any questions for me, hit me up on Instagram. And I just appreciate you all taking the time so much to watch this video. And I promise you, if you can commit to trying to make yourself happier, gratitude list is an amazing place to start. Just start small and try to get inside of the emotions, and your life will change if you do it on a consistent basis. All right. I love you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.